Don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. Those words come from the legendary Bob Marley. And tonight, that's exactly what I want to talk to you about. Because a few weeks ago, I watched his biographical movie, One Love. And I will tell you guys, I was blown away. And you may be wondering to yourself, why am I, a bald-headed white American, talking about Bob Marley? And I am no expert on the man's life, but I will tell you, I was touched by this film. And from my understanding, it's pretty accurate. It makes me curious about the kind of life he lived, and I believe a good movie will do that if it serves as an introduction to a person's life. They want to tell the facts of his life, give you an overview of the facts, and then give you enough to hopefully intrigue your interest enough that you will dive in. And that's exactly what One Love did for me. I was rocked by that movie. Now, up until this point, I would have never considered myself a hardcore Bob Marley fan. I mean, I casually liked things like One Love and Three Little Birds, which I quoted a line from at the beginning of this video. But that's about it. I shot the sheriff, things that everybody knows. But the more I listened to his music, the more I listened to segments of interviews from the man himself, I find myself moved by his words. And what I saw in the film was a man who radically loved God, the God of the Bible, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the God who is the Father, of Jesus Christ. Now, do I believe Bob Marley probably had everything in his life right? No. But do any of us? What I have noticed through listening to his music is this is a man who loved God, as he referred to him, Jah. That's what the Rastafarians referred to God as, Jah, or short for Jehovah, the God of the Bible. And the more I listen to his music, the more I see that all of those songs, all of his hits, and the ones you may not know, are really talking about God. In essence, they're talking about Christ. And I see the love in his music. I see a man who rose up from poverty, who rose up from a war-torn Jamaica, and tried to do the right thing in his era, and do it in a peaceful way, in the same vein as Martin Luther King. And the more that I learn, the more I am inspired. Now, tragically, many of you, it's common knowledge, probably know that Bob Marley died from cancer, from melanoma. I didn't, because, like I said, I didn't know much about Mr. Marley and his life. I knew he passed away, but I didn't know it was from cancer in particular. It actually surprised me that it was from melanoma, given that he's half white and half black. It's harder for black people to get skin cancer, so that surprised me. But he stood up for what was right in his time, and I am inspired by that. And I realize, and the movie did a wonderful job of this, showing how much the man loved the Bible. And after doing a little bit of digging, I found out that he ended up being baptized by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church not long before he died. But I believe through his life, even though he may have not always had everything right, the man radically loved God and he strove for peace. That is what we should be. Men and women who love God and love peace. Because our God, Jesus Christ, is a God of peace. And every time he wrote a song, it's funny, you would see him writing songs in this movie, and he would have his Bible open. Man, if that's not something to be inspired by. A man who not only knew his Bible, but tried to live it, tried to be inspired by the Spirit that wrote the Scriptures. That's something to be inspired by. I would strongly encourage you to watch this One Love movie. That's why I'm talking about it now, because I believe it's culturally relevant. When we look at the things going on in America today, when we look at the things going on in the world around us, there are many people who lack love in their hearts. They lack the love of Christ, the love of Jehovah. They don't know that he loves them, and that's evident by how they live their lives, because their hearts are not at peace. And their outward manifestations, whether we're talking about the protesters, and I'll put that in quotations, really the rioters on college campuses, they don't know love. They're not motivated by love. They're motivated by hate. And their minds have been brainwashed and they've been corrupted. They need to know Jehovah, or as Bob would have called him, Jah. They need to know Jah. They need to know his son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua by his Hebrew name. They need to know that. And I would encourage everyone to watch this, because at the time Bob Marley was making his music, apparently Jamaica was in a lot of turmoil, violent turmoil. There were two different political factions and they were warring with each other. And at the end of the movie, not trying to give you any spoilers, but it shows that Bob brought the two opposing political factions together and united them, at least in part. He brought them on stage and they held hands and they embraced. And I thought that was beautiful. We are one love, people. I think that's relevant. I'm not trying to give you any of those hippie talk. None of the hippie talk. But we really are one love. We're one love and we're one human family. And the sooner that we realize that, and we realize who we are and what Christ has already done, I will tell you now, my friends, Christ has already done everything that he ever needed to do for you. You just have to wake up and realize it. Let those words sink in. Please, if you're one with Christ, let those words sink into your heart and your mind. Carry the Logos. Let the Logos, the living God, the Word of God, become alive in your heart and in your mind, and watch what it does. Don't underestimate the power of one highly motivated person. Bob's life is evidence of this, and I believe that it's a message that all people, whether they're in this country or any other country in this world today, would benefit from. So I would highly, highly recommend that you watch One Love. It's on Paramount Plus right now. You can get it for free. There's no extra charge if you've got a subscription to Paramount Plus. But watch this movie. If you have watched it already, drop a comment below and let me know what you think of it, because it radically touched me. I love you. God bless you. Christ loves you. Please like this video, subscribe, and share it around. We need to get this message out.